So until the conversation around exclusivity is had, for all intents and purposes, you are single. You are allowed to see, talk to, date and vet other men. Ladies, today's video is going to cause a bit of problem, but oh well, let's get into it. Hello elegant ladies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ayanime, and in today's video we are talking about reasons you should multi-date. What I mean there is date multiple men at the same time. And no, it is not cheating, because when I say dating, I'm talking about that phase where you just met each other, you're getting to know each other, going on dates, vetting each other, trying to figure out if you are a match. So see that phase? You should be doing it with multiple people. So when you hear me say dating, don't panic, okay? And the first reason you should multi-date is so you don't end up in a relationship with who is available instead of who you truly want. The difference between being with who is available and being with who you truly want is that the person that is available, you're thinking, let me just manage him. While the person you truly want is, yes, this is the man. As women, we have this tendency to meet a man, like him so much that we focus all our energy, our time on that one man, and then we blind ourselves to the possibility of even meeting another person. The worst part is when we do this when the relationship has not even been defined. No commitment, no discussion about exclusivity. We just decide this is the person we are going to focus on. The issue with closing off yourself is that if or when you find out he's not what you want, there is a tendency to think to yourself, I've spent all this time, all this energy talking to him. Let me just manage him. And that's not the mindset you want to approach your love life with, all right? Because when you start managing a man, you're not just doing yourself a disservice, you're doing him a disservice too. Because he should be with his person, the person that is excited to be with him, genuinely excited to be with him. As I always say, there is a lead for every pot. The man you choose to commit to a relationship with will likely not have all the traits you want, but he should be somebody you truly want to be with. So when you multi-date, you give yourself the gift of not coming into that mindset. Because if you are getting to know Mr. A, B, C, D, for instance, and then you find out that there's a deal breaker with Mr. A, instead of trying to manage Mr. A, you'll be thinking to yourself, you know what, let me go see what Mr. B, C, D have to offer. It is an empowering place to approach your dating life from, and it gives you a sense of control. I know you may say, oh Ayanime, if I do this, I'll get confused. But that's not true. Bear in mind that speaking to these different men does not necessarily mean that all of them are going to be intentional. Some of them may end up becoming true friends. Some could be that you're not a good match. Some could be that they were just whiling away time. So when you are grounded in your standards, your compromises and your deal breakers, and then you factor in how these men are treating you and how you feel about them, it's easier for you to make a decision. If you would like guidance on how to figure out your standards, compromises, and deal breakers, I have a resource. I'm going to leave the link in the description and in the comment that you can get for yourself. It's a guided journal with questions that is going to just give you the clarity when it comes to these three areas. It is editable right on your device. So open up yourself to getting to know different men at the same time, so that when it is time to choose, and I use the word choose because you have a choice. I think a lot of times we as women, we think we don't have a choice in who we end up dating. No, you do, because the man approaches you and you then have a choice to say yes or no. And if you say no, nothing happens, right? Open yourself to multi-dating so that when it is time for you to choose who you truly want to be with and not who is available. That is the gift that multi-dating gives you. Now, number 2, and that is that multi-dating actually helps you figure out what you truly want in a man. Let's assume you have not done much dating, or maybe you have, but you still find that you are not very grounded or not very sure of what you want in a man. Then it stands to reason that if you put yourself out there and date multiple men, you begin to figure out what you like and what you don't like. Different men will give you different experiences, and it is in those experiences that you begin to figure out what you like and what you don't like. You essentially give yourself the gift of being able to compare and contrast the idea or the traits of what you want in a man that is in your head against the real life experience of it. Because you may think, I want this trait in a man, and then you experience that trait and you say to yourself, oh no, this is not for me. And you could say, I don't want this in a man, but then you experience it and you're like, oh, I actually like that. And the way this manifested in my life is with my ex. I always felt that I would not like being with somebody who knows how to cook, because cooking for the man that is in my life is how I express my love for him. So I always felt I will feel insecure or threatened if I am with a man who can cook up a storm. I operated in that mindset for a very long time. Then I met my ex, and boy, can the man cook. And I completely loved that about him. Oh my goodness. I loved it so much that I would beg him to please come spend a day and just cook and fill up my fridge with meals that he made. And then it became a point of banter for us. You know, he would tell me it's going to cost you, and I'll be like, what is it going to cost? And we just have fun and we bargain the terms, right? So in experiencing that particular trait, I realized, oh my goodness, this is actually an amazing thing to have in a man. So when you date multiple men at the same time, you simply give yourself the opportunity to quickly and truly figure out what you want. Number 3 is that it allows you vet men better. So you see that feeling you get in your stomach when you meet a new man, that butterfly feeling, that thing we call sparks, right? That is essentially dopamine coursing through your body. And dopamine is a pleasure hormone. That is why when you meet a new man, you find yourself spending hours on the phone with him, because your body is designed to want more of what gives you pleasure. And the simple act of staying on the phone and speaking to him for hours on end gives you pleasure, which makes you want to spend more time with him, and you slowly build an addiction to him. The horrible thing about this is that it clouds judgment and makes you completely blind to his negative traits and the red flags that would probably be right in your face. But when you're getting to know multiple men at the same time, aka already doing something that, fits the pleasure hormone, you can meet a new man and you won't get as excited. And even if you get excited, it is not going to be the type of excitement that takes control of your mind and makes you make unnecessary mistakes, like jumping into bed too quickly or beginning to invest too much of yourself or expecting him to make you his girlfriend on the first date. You will find that you can comfortably lean back, stay grounded, see him the way he truly is, both good and bad, while in turn giving yourself the time to truly get to know him without dopamine in the background cheering you on to prematurely act based on your emotions, which can come across as desperate. And we all know that desperation doesn't look good. Number 4 is actually quite interesting, and this is the fact that it increases your chances of meeting the one. And it doesn't just increase that chance, it also quickens that process. If you're putting yourself out there and dating multiple men at the same time, then it stands to reason that the chances of finally meeting the one increases every time you meet a new man and you open up yourself to getting to know him, even if you are already in the talking stage with another person. If you focus all your time, all your energy on one person, right? Getting to know him, and then you find out down the line that he's not what you want, you don't just have to face the disappointment and the pain that comes from that. You also find out that you've likely wasted maybe 3-4 months on this person. And dating like that can be an incredible time waster, and depending on how old you are, it can make you feel like you don't have control of your dating life or that you're behind time. The worst part with this is if you do not have an active social life life where you get to meet people easily. Ladies, dating is a numbers game. That's just the way it is. So the more you open yourself to meeting more men, the more you increase the chances of finally meeting that wonderful man that you want to commit to. Now number 5, and number 5 is that it improves your dating skills. Ladies, being able to go on a date and leave a good impression is a skill. Becoming a good conversationalist is not just a good social skill, it is also essential when you're dating. Learning how to flirt and flirt confidently is a skill. And don't forget that flirting is fluid, okay? What will work with one man will likely not work with another man. Even learning how to enforce your boundaries in a feminine and soft way is also a skill. And all of these are skills that multi-dating gives you. When you multi-date, you find that you become more confident in your ability to handle men and their eccentricities and their nuances, right? Because you have spent time with different men and come to learn how to relate with these different personalities, which we can all agree is an important skill. But ultimately, it improves your self-confidence, and we all know that that is an attractive trait. Alright ladies, so if you're enjoying this video, it is changing your mindset, please take a moment to like the video, share it with somebody, subscribe to the channel, and also leave a comment sharing your thoughts with me. The 6th reason you should multi-date is that it helps you better understand men. Notice I didn't say know men, I said understand men, because these are two different things and that gender is a different breed. The mistake we make as women is that we have rules that we expect every man in our lives to follow. We sort of like put men in a box, so when they don't act the way we expect them to act, we get upset. An example is coming to expect every man you talk to define your relationship by the 2nd date. And then you find yourself with a man who by the 6th date is still figuring things out, and you're getting upset and talking to yourself, okay, wait, why hasn't he defined this relationship? That's a box that you've put men in, ignoring the fact that these people, they may play the game the same way to a certain level, but sometimes they deviate from the norm. I am currently talking to 2 men. One is very intelligent, very book smart, and the way I relate with him is very different. And then I have another person I'm speaking with who is a typical Igbo man, business savvy, comes with the accent, and guess what? I enjoy spending so much time with that one too. And the way I relate with him is so different. I know that yes, I'm not going to be in a relationship with him or commit to a relationship with him, but it is so much fun interacting with these 2 men, noticing the differences and also noticing the way I actually change my approach when I'm talking to them. The way you interact with Mr. A will definitely be different from the way you interact with Mr. B. So multi-dating gives you that skill where you can handle different men with different characters, different personalities, and even the different dynamics of the dating process, which we can all agree is an important skill. It just gives you the opportunity to be fluid and flexible when you're relating with men, coming to understand them. It releases you from the pressure that comes with stereotypical expectations. Number 7 is that it sends the message that exclusivity is a gift and he will have to earn it. By that I mean he will have to earn everything that comes with exclusivity. That is your heart, your body, your vulnerability, your trust, and ultimately becoming a priority in your life. This actually challenges him to come correct, as we say here, or not come at all, and this can be enjoyable to the right man. He finds himself having fun intentionally pursuing you, and don't forget, men are natural hunters, and when he finally wins your heart, wins that right to be exclusive with you, boy, oh boy, he's going to feel like a king. It validates him. Another beautiful thing is that it sends a message that you are hard to get. I'm not saying playing hard to get, but that you are actually hard to get. Playing hard to get doesn't work. It's childish. Being hard to get, it's something real, and it is a factor of your lifestyle and the way you date. And multi-dating sends that message. It says, I am not available always. It says, I am talking to other men, vetting them, getting to know them. It says, I'm not going to invest all my time and energy in you when you are not actively doing the same. It says I'm not going to force conversations of, so what are we? I'm not going to force plans. So if you want this to work, you have to invest your time and energy too. Do you understand? It is a powerful place to operate from because in my experience, once you meet a man and you let him know you like him or that you are talking to only him, that is when you realize he starts acting funny. And who wants that? Number 8 is that you are playing the dating game right. Men have been multi-dating for eons, and you should be doing the same. That is why a man can take weeks or even months to have that conversation about exclusivity, because he has been multi-dating and vetting other women, trying to figure out who he truly wants to be with. The reason there is so much pushback when it comes to women multi-dating is that it has not been our thing from the beginning. We have been conditioned to focus entirely on the man in front of us and give everything to that man, even when that relationship is headed for doom. Society expects us to act that way, and when we don't, it becomes a problem. That is why it is met with fire, hell, and brimstones. I used to do this. I tell you, and it goes back to the first point I made, okay? You focus on that one man so much, you end up settling at your detriment. So multi-dating just makes sense to me because it levels the playing field. Number 9 is that it makes your dating life fun and proactive. Yes, multiple dating will require you to go out more on dates and put more effort, but this can also be fun depending on the way you see it. I choose to see it as being in my feminine energy and soaking up all this wonderful attention from men. I see it as getting wined and dine and getting to explore new things. I see it as an opportunity to spend time with wonderful men over a meal and just connect and talk without the pressure of this man is a potential boyfriend. That pressure that comes with dating that intensely, it just relieves that pressure. I see it as, for once, allowing myself to be wooed and pursued without the intensity that comes with wanting to force things to work. I see it as finally giving myself the gift of not always thinking, does he like me? Rather thinking, do I like him? Do I like him enough to be committed to him and be exclusive to him? I see it as being active in my dating life and taking control rather than expecting things to just happen as if I have no say. This is the way I see multi-dating. So let me know, how do you see it? I really want to hear your thoughts. And finally, you should multi-date because it is not cheating. The major pushback about multi-dating is that we think it is cheating. We automatically assume that talking to these different men means you're sleeping with all of them, which would make you a serial cheater. And that's a misconception. Multi-dating is different from casual sex or friends with benefits. So until the conversation around exclusivity is had, for all intents and purposes, you're single. You are allowed to see, talk to, date and vet other men. Don't operate on the assumption that because you're talking to a man, spending time with him, going on dates with him, that you are in an exclusive relationship. No. Until you both have that conversation, please operate from the point of view that you're single. So it is not cheating. And if you feel somewhere about it, let him know where you're coming from. Let him know that you are multi-dating and will only commit when you've taken the time to get to know the man. The beautiful thing is that any assumption he may have that you're sleeping with all these men will be squashed from his mind when, through your actions and how you enforce your boundaries, you show him that he cannot get you into bed. So he starts to see that it is the same treatment for everybody, especially in that regard. And that's it for today's video. You know I love hearing your thoughts, so share them with me in the comments section. And if you haven't, please take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with somebody who you think will benefit from this video. As always, be kind to yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.